Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class on Sri Upadeśāmṛtam. So we will get started now. I will start screen sharing. Oh, first, let's do Mangalacharan prayers. Yeah, we still need to share the screen. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, let us recite the verses of Sri Upadeśāmṛtam. So I'll increase the font and we will do this in lead follow format. So if possible, you can unmute and we will lead follow. We will see how far we can go. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jivha.
Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam.
Jivha vegam udaropastha vegam.
Jihva vegam
udaropastha vegam.
Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha.
Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha.
Sarvamapi mam prithivim sashishyat.
Sarvamapi mam prithivim sashishyat.
Atyaharah prayasascha.
Atyahara prayasasya.
Prajalpo niyamagraha. Janasanghascha laulyam cha.
Janasanghasya laulyam cha.
Tadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Shadbhir bhakti vinashyati.
Utsahan nishchayat dhairyat.
Utsahan nishchayat
dhairya.
Tat karma pravartanat.
Pravartanat.
Sato vritte.
Sangatyadat sato vritte.
Shadbhir bhaktir prasidhyati.
Shadbhir
Shadbhir prasidhyati.
Dadati pratigrahanati.
Dadati
Dadati
pratigrahanati.
Guhyam akhyati pritchati.
Guhyam
Yammatyati
Bhukte
pritchati.
bhojayate chaiva.
Bhukte
Bhukte bhojayate chaiva.
Shadvidha priti lakshanam.
Shadvidham priti lakshanam.
Krishneti yasya giritam anasadriyeta.
Krishneti yasya manasadriyeta.
Ikshasti chet pranatibhischa bhajantamisham.
Ikshasti cheta pranati vischa vidantamisham.
Shushrūshaya bhajana vigyam ananyamanya.
Shushrūshaya
bhajana vigyamananyamanya.
Nindadi shunya hridamipsita sangalabdhya.
Nadishimhridayamipsita sangalabhya.
Drishtaih svabhava janitair vapushascha doshair.
स्वभावजनितैर्वपुष्टैश्च
न
दोषैः
प्राकृतत्वम् इह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत्
निर्णं प्राकृतत्वमिह भक्तजनस्य पश्येत्
गङ्गाम्भसां खलु बुद्बुदफेन पङ्कैर्
गङ्गाम्भसां खलु बुद्बुद्धेन पङ्कैः
ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः
ब्रह्मद्रवत्वमपगच्छति नीरधर्मैः
या कृष्णनामचरितादिसिताप्यविद्या
या कृष्णनामाचरितादिसिद्धार्थविद्या
तोपतप्तरसनस्य न रोचिकानु
विद्धोपतप्तरसनस्य न रोचिकानु
किन्त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा
त्वादरादनुदिनं खलु सैव जुष्टा
स्वाद्वीक्रमाद् भवति तद्गदमूलहन्त्री
स्वाद्वीक्रमाद् भवति तद्गदमूलहन्त्री
तन्नामरूपचरितादिसुकीर्तनानु मृत्योः क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य
क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य
तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी
तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी
कालं नयेदखिलमित्युपदेशसारम्
कालं नयेदखिलमित्युपदेशसारम्
वैकुण्ठाज्जनितो वरा मधुपुरी तत्रापि दासोत्सवात्
वैकुण्ठाज्जनितो मधुपुरी तत्रापि रासोत्सवा
वृन्दारण्यमुदारपाणिरमणात् तत्रापि गोवर्धना
अरण्यमुदारपाणिरामणात्रापि गोवर्धन
राधाकुण्डमिहापि गोकुलपते प्रेमामृताप्लावनात्
राधाकुण्डमिहापि गोकुलपते प्रेमामृताप्लुपान्
कुर्यादस्य विराजतो गिरितटे सेवां विवेकीनका
कुर्यादस्य विराजितो गिरितटे सेवां विवेकीनकः.
All right, thank you. So we will recite up to here. That is our verse for today. Thank you. So let me share my screen, PowerPoint. Wait. Can you see the PowerPoint, or what are you seeing?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see.
Prabhuji, we can see.
Okay. And you still can see? Good. Okay, great. Thank you. So we will start our class on Sri Upadeśāmṛtam, which is called Nectar of Instruction. Originally, the verses by none other than Srila Rupa Goswami, and English translations purports by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. And based on in-depth classes by Shriman Hari Parshad Prabhuji. He has restarted the series, and we just started verse number 6. Drishtahi swabhav janitair vapushascha doshair. So, and if you want to attend the live classes, let me know. I can let you know the details. Verse number 9. What is the topmost holy place? So once again, this verse, we are completely changing the theme, though it is still connected to the previous verse. There is a link. But there's a whole change of theme which we will start or which we will talk about in just a second. But this is talking about the topmost holy place. So any guesses? Anybody knows what is the topmost holy place mentioned in this verse?
Radha Kunda.
Golok.
About Vrindavan,
Radha
that is
Kunda.
the topmost place.
Okay, so I heard Vrindavan, I heard Golok, I heard Radha Kunda. So let us discover what is the topmost place. Okay. So once again, if possible, we'll recite the verse. It is a very, very beautiful verse. And it is in the meter called Shardula Vikriditam, which has 19 syllables. It's one of the longest meters and very sweet meters. And whenever anything sweet need to be mentioned, or then this meter is typically used. This is also the meter of Shad Goswami Ashtakam. It has one breakpoint. I have shown this breakpoint in this by this blue line here. And then there is certain arrangement of long and short syllables. I'm not going into all the details here, but we can go into it sometime later. So we will recite the verse once more. Would you all like to recite it? So we will do it again. Lead, follow. Vaikuntha janito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasotsavad.
Vaikuntha janito vara madhupuri tatra patirasotsavad.
Vrindaranyamudar pani ramanat tatrapi govardhana. Radha Kunda mihapi gokulapate premamritat plavanat. Puryadasya virajato giritate sevam vivekinaka. So would anybody like to read the translation in good, clear voice, kind of fluently?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I can read. Okay.
Medha, Mataji, I heard
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Go
Can I?
ahead.
Hare Krishna. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Rasa Leela pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhana Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kunda stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokula, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So please look at this translation, or if you know Sanskrit or whatever, what is the highest place mentioned in this verse?
Mathura.
Radha Kund.
Radha Kund. Radha Kund.
Radha Kunda.
Ultimately is Radha Kund.
Radha Kunda. Highest, I said, not higher, highest. Okay.
Hmm.
And in this verse, what is the lowest place mentioned?
Vaikuntha.
Mathura.
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 Mathura. Mathura.
Read the English properly and then you will see it.
Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha.
Yes. Right?
Vaikuntha.
So the lowest is, in this verse, is mentioned is Vaikuntha,
Vaikuntha.
and highest is Radha Kunda.
Radha Kund.
All right. So before we go into this, let us first, or the purpose of this verse, and that is what I have organized the theme, and we will go into other aspects as well. The theme of this discussion is how to understand this verse. And there is a very important learning as well. So very, very important background. Okay. So we will see a hierarchy of holy places in this verse. Okay. So there is a hierarchy. We just said the lowest. So hierarchy means lower, higher, 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 highest, right? That's called hierarchy. Like in military also, there is a hierarchy. Foot soldier, then commander, captain, whatever. I'm not an expert in that, and then it goes to whatever, colonel, lieutenant general, general, whatever, and then the chief of army staff or whatever. So there's a hierarchy. So in this verse also, we will see a hierarchy of holy places. And like we just said, we will see fundamentally, we are just taking the two at the two extremes. We see Sri Radha Kunda is greater than Sri Vaikuntha Dham. Okay. So how many of you feel little disturbed by this? You can be honest. Nobody feels disturbed? Okay, great. That is what I expected. Then we can have a free-flowing class. If you are not disturbed, then that is great. And I hope that the future audience that will watch this video also will not be disturbed by this. But this verse may disturb some Vaishnavas. What to speak of some Vaishnavas, it may disturb in general some people. People may think that spirituality is all like everything spiritual. Why is there a hierarchy? Vaikuntha is in the spiritual world. Radha Kunda is also in the spiritual world, but we also have Radha Kunda in the material world in Vrindavan. All the other four places, do you know any geographical place known as Vaikuntha in India or anywhere in this world? I have not heard. But we know the remaining four places: Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan, Radha Kund. You can pay some 50 rupees, 100 rupees to a auto rickshaw person. He can take you to any of those four places. Once you go to the, once you are there, correct? So these are actual geographical places where a rickshaw can go. So how is it possible that this, one can think like this, I'm saying, that Radha Kunda is higher than Vaikuntha, which is in the spiritual world. So first of all, we are all talking about these spiritual places. And secondly, how come something is higher than Vaikuntha? Okay, Vaikuntha we all understand is the highest place of Lord Vishnu. And secondly, that everything in the spiritual world is supposed to be absolute. We say Krishna is no different than his name. The paraphernalia of Krishna is no different than his name, than himself. Everything is the same. How come there is a hierarchy? So there's a very important point, very important background to be covered here. Okay. And here is where we are going into a specific type of bhakti known as Raga Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. If you remember, we covered this in the last verse. I had mentioned, let me see. Yeah, if you see here, we had covered that engaging in sukirtananu, engaging the tongue in kirtana, remembering the Lord, smrityo kramena, or no, that was in the previous verse. Then here, what is the 8th verse? Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu, smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya. So yes, smrityo kramena. And then Tishtan vraje tadanuragi jananugami kalam naye dakhilam iti Upadeśāmṛtam. So the step of Tishtan vraje tad anuragi jananugami, we said, is the aspect of Raganuga sadhan bhakti. So which means bhakti, we had discussed this last time, but now we are going into the details of we are going into the aspects of Raganuga Bhakti, and in this, we must understand that maturity is very, very important. It is not a child's play. It is not something that you can take lightly. It comes with maturity, not only maturity in the material sense, but maturity in the highly spiritual sense. So one has to be very, very mature, and that's why this Raganuga Bhakti typically comes after a long time spent in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, maybe in this life, maybe in previous life. So we are not saying it has to be in the same life. These things continue over lifetimes. So how to understand this thing that Vaikuntha is lower than Sri Radha Kunda? It's a very, very important point. There have been so many conflicts, so many wars, so much bloodshed on the place, isn't it? Can you give some examples on holy place where so much conflict has occurred over it?
Kurukshetra.
That was not the question. That conflict occurred in Kurukshetra, but it didn't occur over Kurukshetra.
Ayodhya, Prabhu.
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, very nice. Ayodhya, I heard, very nice. Those are the two biggest examples, isn't it? Not only one, but three religions have a claim on Jerusalem. The Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. It is the most holy place, one of the most holy place of all three religions. Then Ayodhya, we have conflict. Mathura also, we have conflict. So there is so much conflict over a place, that this place is mine and this place is mine. So we have so much conflict. Not only within religions, Hindu, Muslim, Christianity, Judaism, within Vaishnavism also there is a conflict. Any examples? Within even Gaudiya Vaishnavism, there is also some kind of a, no bloodshed has happened, fortunately, but there is a conflict.
Kanchipuram in South India.
I had asked about Gaudiya Vaishnavism.
Oh.
So if you know, I'm not sure if you know or not, but there is a conflict, or not a conflict as in a violent conflict, but a philosophical conflict between about where is Sri Mayapur Dham, on the eastern side or on the western side of the Ganges River. So it is not yet resolved, and we have two birthplaces of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One is what Bhakti Vinod Thakur had established by looking at very ancient records, because he was the magistrate and he was able to look up records of hundreds of years old, and he found out that this is the right place. But before Bhakti Vinod Thakur did, and he found it to be on the other side of the river. Previous to that, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was considered to be on the other side of the river. So some people still maintain that. So there is something called Prachin Mayapur, and then there is the present Mayapur, which was established by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So there is that conflict. So there is always conflict going to be there. So that is one thing we must understand, that it is not our job to go resolve the conflict. Conflicts will be there. Now, so maturity is very, very important. Else there could be confusion, misunderstanding, upsets, conflicts, etc. And especially somebody who is new or who is understanding these details initially, who may not have read this verse before, could, instead of being inspired by the writings of Rupa Goswami, could get uninspired. That is totally not the intention. The intention of Rupa Goswami and all the other acharyas after him, and everybody who's trying to share the knowledge given by Rupa Goswami, is to inspire others, not to uninspire them. So therefore, we must understand this verse in a very, very mature way. The root of all conflicts is what? Us versus them. It doesn't matter who is us and who is them. All it matters is where you draw the line. You can draw the line between Hindu, Muslim. Then you can draw a line within Hindu also. Like I said, within Hindu, you can say Vaishnava and Shaiva. Within Vaishnava, you can say Gaudiya Vaishnava and other Vaishnava. Within Gaudiya Vaishnava, you can say this one and that one. Like we had discussed this earlier, we can have, So it is the root of all conflict, us versus them. So how to understand this verse? It's a very, very important point. So I have taken an analogy of how to understand this verse. So a mother or a father says to a child, my dear child, you are the best child in the whole universe. Any mother or fathers on the call? I can see some. Have you said this to your child? Ramakant Prabhu, you're nodding. Have you said this to your child? Ever?
Yes.
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 Okay.
In the very childhood.
All right. Doesn't matter, but you have said it to your child. Very nice. I have also said it to my children. Has that lady or person, have you met all the children in the universe, Ramakant Prabhu? No.
Oh.
Okay. Then how do you know your child is the best child?
Was my perception about my child only.
Are you lying? No, you are not lying.
No, it's bhav.
Yes.
It's
So for
actually-
you, for the mother, her child is the best. It's not that she's lying. It is also not that she's making it up just to make the child happy. It's not that. Okay, I am a father, I can say that. There is this, from experience, I can say that for every parent, their child is literally the best child in the whole universe. There is no need to inspect the entire universe for this. There is a but. The but is that the mother does not go around the neighborhood. Did you go around the neighborhood telling everybody that my child is better than your child? That
No,
is
not
meaningless.
at all.
Not at all. What would it do if you did that?
Conflict.
Yes, it would create conflict. It would create meaningless conflict, undesired conflict in the neighborhood. And it would make you and the child both, not only you, but the child also, an outcast in the neighborhood, isn't it? Actually speaking, everybody likes those parents who love their children, their own children, with all their hearts. Everybody expects every parent to be a very loving parent. Since they say each parent tells to their own child, my child is the best, they know that every other parent must be saying the same thing to their child. There is nothing wrong in that. But you don't go around kind of doing a, domination or some kind of declaration or competition that let us actually see whose is the best. That does not make sense. Okay. So we also respect the fact that for every parent, their child is the best. And this creates the most healthy fabric in which all the broad-minded people in the neighborhood, or in this case, all the broad-minded devotees can make spiritual progress. Are you seeing the point?
Yeah.
So within the various sampradayas, within the various lines of spiritual progress, there are so many lines of spiritual progress. Okay. In the whole world, there are so many. There are so many major religions. Can you say that Muslims are not making spiritual progress? Can you say that? No, they are making spiritual progress. Within Hindus, Vaishnavas, and so many others, they are all making spiritual progress. Okay. So we have our own best places. For us, the best place may be Radha Kunda. For somebody else, the best place may be, for the Shaivites, Mount Kailash may be the best place. I don't know. For somebody else, for the Muslims, Mecca is the best place. So when we have this sort of a healthy fabric, then everybody can make good spiritual progress. So that brings us to so let us kind of bring our focus back to Vaishnavas, because this is a talk about Vaishnavas. We must have respect for all sampradayas. So sampradaya is a common word. We can say even Muslims or Christians have sampradaya. It is a school of thought. It is a school of philosophy, a school of understanding with certain procedures. Somebody need to mute. With certain procedures built into their spiritual practices. Okay. So let me ask this question to you all. How many sampradayas are there? Anybody knows?
Countless.
Okay. Anybody else?
4
In-
sampradayas.
And say Sikhism, Buddhism, all the sampradayas. So there
Okay.
are so many.
So
many.
how many, my question is, how many Vaishnava Sampradayas are there?
4, Prabhuji.
4.
4. That is not the right answer. When we say, I know we say 4 Sampradayas, right? Brahma, Rudra, Shri Sampradaya, and Kumar Sampradaya. These are the 4 primary Sampradayas. Okay? These are not the only 4. There are many more. Or there could be many more. Okay? What is our Sampradaya? Anybody knows?
Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Brahma,
Gaudiya
Brahma
Vaishnavas.
Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Very nice. The entire name that we give is Brahma, not Madhava, Madhva.
Madhva.
Because it is the Acharya, the primary Acharya is Madhvacharya. So Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. That is our Sampradaya. But do you know that is a name because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his initiation in the Brahma Madhva Sampradaya. That is why we call ourselves in Brahma Madhva, and Gaudiya means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Gaura. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gauranga. So Gaura means Gaudiya, or in Bengali, you would say Ra, you convert to Da. So Gauda. So Gaudiya Sampradaya, but the primary understanding is that whatever philosophy we follow is as given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Rupa Goswami is the #1 disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Him and Srila Sanatan Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave so many instructions to both of them, and they were the ones who wrote volumes and volumes and volumes of literature. And then their nephew, Jiva Goswami, wrote more volumes than everybody else combined. So that is our body, our primary body of philosophical literature given by these 6 Goswamis. And then Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami also wrote a whole body of literature. And that forms the Gaudiya, or we can say Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, but primarily coming from the teachings of who?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very nice. Now, do you know that there are significant differences between Madhva philosophy and Gaudiya philosophy? There are a lot of similarities as well, but there are some major differences. I'm not going to go into those differences. But can we say that we are completely separate from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya? No. The point is that Sampradaya Bheda means some differences will be there. Definitely will be there. Even within Gaudiya Sampradaya, there could be differences. Okay. Within ISKCON also, which is entirely under Srila Prabhupada's family, there are differences. And I'm not going to go into the details, but there are some differences. The people, the ISKCON body within India versus the West, there are certain differences about the philosophy and how they interpret certain aspects of what Srila Prabhupada had instructed. So differences are going to be there. The point is we have to deal with them maturely and without any misunderstanding, confusion, conflict, or any kind of offense to each other. That is the most important point. Another point is that what defines a sampradaya? Again, the purpose is not to go into that. One of the points that is mentioned is that having a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra is the defining requirement. That is not true. That is absolutely not true. Yes, all major sampradayas have it. That is fine. But it is not a requirement. Like you can say for a university to be bona fide needs to have a mathematics department. Is that valid?
No.
I think that is true. Can there be a university without math department? Yes, there can be, though it is most of the major universities have it. Do all the major universities have a mathematics department? Yes, mathematics is a very fundamental science, and we can say that all major universities have it, but that is not the defining characteristic of a university. Now, some people take this very literally, saying that at one point of time, during the time of Raja Jai Singh, certain Vaishnavas challenged the Gaudiya Vaishnava community that you are not a bona fide sampradaya because you do not have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. But you must understand that that was their point of view, that because they knew that we do not have it, so you always point out something which is a weakness, isn't it? So they found a weakness, and to suppress this community of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they brought out that point. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has said that there is no need for a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra because the Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Therefore, you don't need any additional commentary. That is our understanding. And till today, we have that understanding. And that is why we focus on reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Has Srila Prabhupada ever instructed that you must read Vedanta Sutra? Have you heard that as a must? No. Has he said you must read Srimad Bhagavatam? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amala Purana, and by the way, it is also a natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So that is the point that Gaudiya Vaishnavas were making. But finally, the king was under, though he was very favorable to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, he had to succumb to that pressure. And then he said to Baladev Vidyabhushan that why don't you go and write a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. And he very nicely, he wrote a great commentary known as Govinda Bhashya on the Vedanta Sutra with the blessings of Sri Govinda Dev Ji. And that is a whole another story. But he produced a commentary, and now since that day, we have a valid commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, but at least that crisis was averted. So this whole purpose of writing the commentary on Vedanta Sutra was simply to avert a crisis. And a secondary byproduct was that we have a commentary. But that commentary is not something that we read. Srila Prabhupada never translated it into English or anything, but he definitely translated the Srimad Bhagavatam into English. So having a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, having a commentary on other important textbooks like all Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita, etc., are not requirements to be a sampradaya. So, and then finally, what about devotees who do not belong to any sampradaya? For example, Bilva Mangala Thakur, as far as I understand, he is not belonging to any sampradaya. Is he a pure devotee? Absolutely, he is one of the purest devotees that's as pure as it gets. So this whole thing about sampradayas and this sampradaya versus that sampradaya, we have to be very, very mature, and we have to understand that all the sampradayas and are having or could be having a very sound foundation. We should not have any kind of we should not proclaim ourselves to be the judge of who is a valid sampradaya or not. So the fundamental point is you don't need to go poking around if someone is a real mother or a stepmother. You just be the best possible mother for your own child. That is the point. That is the maturity we need to develop, and we should not raise even a finger or even an eyebrow, or even in the mind we should not raise a doubt about the authenticity or the genuineness of any other sampradaya. So with that understanding, what we must do, we should treat this verse that Sri Radha Kunda is greater than Vaikuntha as a very, very, very internal, highly internal matter. It is when we say that Radha Kund is the highest. That is absolutely the truth. I'm not saying it is something to just make us feel happy or make Krishna feel happy or make Srimati Radharani feel happy. No, for us, that is the absolute truth. Okay, but it is a highly internal matter for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, for that community. No need to go advertise as an absolute hierarchy outside of the Vaishnavas. That's like going around the neighborhood and saying, you know, my child is the best and my child is better than yours. Else they may end up getting offended and they may never become a Vaishnava. You don't want that on your watch. You don't want that on your consciousness, on your conscience, that you were the cause for somebody to lose faith in Krishna or in God, in any form, any name of God. Moreover, they may even think offensively about Rupa Goswami. Oh, we heard Rupa Goswami is such a great saint. He is such a great acharya. He's creating this division. Would you be okay with that, having it on your conscience, that they thought ill of Rupa Goswami? No, you would not. So don't go around advertising this point that Radha Kund is higher than Vaikuntha. But you can say that in my school or in my Sampradaya, Radha Kund is the most important holy place. That you can say. Just like, wouldn't you appreciate a Muslim who says, for me, Mecca is the most important place? Do you have a problem if a Muslim says this? Ramakant Prabhu, do you have a problem if Muslims
No,
say?
no, not at all. Not at all.
You will think nicely, oh, he's a very, good Muslim,
Yeah.
So you will think nicely. But what if he says, Mecca is better than Ayodhya?
No. So,
Then it will lead to bloodshed.
yeah.
Isn't it? That is the root cause of all problems. So you can say that we believe, or according to, for me, not only our belief, or not only we say, no, you can be authentic. You don't have to say our books say, as if the books say, but I don't say. Not even that. I say because I believe, that's my personal belief, that Radha Kund is the highest. That's fine. They can think that you can believe whatever you want. That's no problem. As long as you are respecting them for their belief. And then both can have a healthy and mature respect for each other. So what should we do? First point is we should have mutual respect for each other's thoughts, their priorities, and their philosophies. Secondly, and more importantly, the point of verse numbers 9, 10, and 11. This is known as Raga Bhakti. It is about relishment. Raga Bhakti is all about relishment. Remember the discussion we had earlier, mother versus nanny. Does a nanny relish changing the diaper of the child? No, nanny is probably not relishing. She will wear gloves. She may even wear a mask because she doesn't want the foul smell. Mother will not do that. Mother does it out of love. So that relishment is what you need to seek. And relishment is highly personal. Okay, you don't advertise your relishment. So your job is to relish this verse very, very genuinely and sweetly in your own heart. Just like a mother privately relishes the pictures of her child, even though those pictures are not the best ones. Okay. But for a mother, her child's pictures are way more sweeter than somebody else's child's pictures. So you just privately relish your priorities. You make a resolve to go to Sri Radha Kunda. You don't have to take your neighborhood along with you. Privately, you yourself go to Radha Kunda and absorb yourself in the thoughts of the divine couple and make your own spiritual life successful. So the maturity is that you must remember that there are multiple paths to spiritual progress. Okay, for Sri Vaishnavas, for example, Radha Kund may not be the most important place. For them, Sri Rangam may be the most important place. So, and can you say that Sri Vaishnavas will not go back to Godhead? That is absolutely not true. They have as much equal right to go back to the spiritual world as much as we have. So there are multiple paths to spiritual success. Yours or ours is not the only one. But for us, we need to follow our path with triple S. Triple S is what? What is triple S? We must all understand this triple S.
Steady, sincere, and serious.
Okay, can you say something more about it? Serious about? Those are
About-
3 words.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can you please repeat it?
Those are just 3 words. I want to make sure everybody understands those words. So serious about what?
About bhakti and making progress in spiritual life.
So
Trying to be
serious about the goal. Remember this. Seriousness is about the goal. Okay, yes, what you said is correct. But in short words, seriousness about the goal or about the objective. Very serious. I want this. I'm serious about it. Like you say, I'm dead serious. I will do it or I want it. So seriousness is about the resolve. Okay, it is about the sambandha. Then the next one is
sincere.
Sincere about the
Effort that we put towards
Exactly.
reaching the goal.
Exactly. Sincere about the effort. And then final one is
Steady.
Steadiness is over time. So over time, you don't diminish. You at least stay steady or you increase. So follow your path as seriously, sincerely, and steadily as you can. That is our job. And this verse should not be a source of conflict or disturbance or any kind of confusion in one's mind. Okay, this verse is a very, very internal verse. So in Hindi, we say ghar ki baat. So 9, 10, and 11 verses are ghar ki baat. It is an internal matter of the house that we don't go around discussing with everybody else. Okay. All right. So with that understanding, let us proceed. So that was the major part of the discussion. And this discussion applies to all 3 verses. You will see we will not have this discussion again. It even applies to the next 2 verses. So let us understand this verse quickly. Okay. Vaikuntha janito vara madhupuri tatrapi rasot savad. Okay. So what this verse is saying, first it is providing a comparison. So this much, first 4 words here, Vaikuntha janito vara madhupuri, are constituting one comparison. Now you will see one thing that, and pay attention to it. Not only is the comparison given between 2 places, but the reason why one is higher is also given. That is very important. Okay. So, is there any pastime where Lord Nara, now again, I'm talking to Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Please, keep that in mind. If anybody is disturbed by it, I also have a mechanism of how to deal with it. Maybe we'll talk about it in next class. Okay. So there is now, is there any pastime where Lord Narayan takes birth? No. Now Lord Krishna also never takes birth as such. Okay. But he appears. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that Lord Narayan appeared and then he converted himself into Krishna form. So, and the Lord, and this I was recently reading in Upadeśāmṛtam, which is another wonderful scripture by Sri Rupa Goswami. He has described there how the Lord is always present at all times in all places in his personal form. His activities, all his pastimes are going on at all times in all places. They are just aprakat. Aprakat means unmanifest in front of us. At the right time, whenever he wants, or when the devotees request. Okay. At that time, he makes himself manifest, prakat. That is the only difference. But the pastimes are going on. So there is never any birth even of Vishnu or Krishna or anything. But Lord Krishna appeared in Mathura. So that is the reason. So that is why it says Janito. Janita, Jana means to, or Janma, to take birth. So in Mathura, or Madhupuri is another name for Mathura, Lord Krishna appeared. That pastime from going from aprakat to prakat happened, which is a very sweet transition for somebody to understand or to read about or to see. So that is what makes Mathura special, because they got a exclusive view or an exclusive access through the Srimad Bhagavatam into this wonderful pastime of the Lord's appearance. That is why Mathura is superior to Vaikuntha. So there is a cause. So Vara means superior to Vaikuntha because of Janito. Janito means to appear or to take Janma, but appear. Okay, so that is the first comparison. Tatrapi, now the second, so there's a period here, or a full stop as we call in India. Then better than that, tatrapi, this word tatrapi will occur 2 times in the next line also, because there is a comparison. Tatrapi, better than that, is due to the Rasa Utsav performance, Rasa Utsavad. Due to the Rasa Utsav, means the Ras Leela pastimes. And where did the Ras Leela pastimes occur? In Vrindavan, in so many places, in Nidhivan, Seva Kunj, Rasamandal, and so many other places. They occurred definitely in Govardhan also, but in Vrindavan, mainly in the forests of Vrindavan. That goes to the next line, Vrindaranyam. Aranya means forest, right? In Ramayana, we have Aranya Kanda, means when Lord Ram went to the forest. So Aranya, Vrindaranya, Vrinda Aranya in the Vrindavan is the Vrindavan forest. So better than Mathura is Vrindavan forest. And the reason is what? Because Rasa Utsav occurred there. See, Rasa Utsav. So Rasa Utsav is a higher, considered a more sweeter pastime than just appearance, because there is sweetness between the Lord and his devotees. Okay. Then Tatrapi, another. Tatrapi, better than that is Govardhana. Why? Because Udara Pani Ramanath. Udara Pani means hand. When marriage happens, what it is called? Pani Grahana. Pani Grahana means the girl takes the hand of the boy and the boy takes the hand of the girl. That's called Pani Grahana. Each one takes each other's hand. So Pani means taking the hand or holding in the hand. So what did Lord Krishna do to Govardhan Hill? In his Pani, Udar Pani, in his great hands or hand, he held the Govardhan Hill. And at the same time, Ramanath, he performed sweet pastimes with all the devotees together for 7 days continuously. This is better than Rasotsava, because Rasotsava only used to happen at certain time of the day. In the night, for example, it used to happen, not all throughout the day. The gopis were waiting in the daytime, because then Krishna was going and grazing the cows and calves, and they were sad that, oh, this daytime is so bad, we cannot have direct association with Krishna. Only the gopas, the boys, are having association of Krishna. So in Govardhan pastime, 24/7, everybody had full access to Krishna. That is why this Govardhan pastime is, and then Lord Krishna was directly touching and holding the Govardhan hill. So that makes the Govardhan pastime superior to the Rasa pastime, because it was non-stop, 24/7. Are you following? So, and if you see, every word is there here. So it's a rearranged. Vrindaranyam, Udarapani Ramanath, Tatrapi Govardhana. Okay. So all words are there in a different arrangement to make it a proper English sentence. Then Radha Kundam Ihapi Gokulapate Prema Mrita Plavanat. So this is showing this is whole thing is one comparison. So between Radha Kunda and Govardhan. So Ihapi means better than that is Radha Kunda, Radha Kundam, because why? Again, reason is there. Aplavanat Premamrita. Aplavanat means being over flooded, completely like pouring out, over flooded with Prema Amrita. We can say Prema, the loving nectar, Prema Amrita of Gokulapati, of Lord Krishna. So better than Radha, better than that, better than the Govardhana is Radha Kund, because it is over flooded with the Prema Amrita of Lord Sri Krishna. Therefore, now the comparisons are over. Therefore, which intelligent person, Kah Viveki, which intelligent person would not render service to this Radha Kund situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? So, Kah Viveki na kuryad sevam asya virajato giri tate. So, like that, we can convert it into English. Okay, so all the words are here. Kuryad asya virajato giri tate sevam viveki naka. So, which intelligent, it's a rhetorical question, which intelligent person would not render seva or service to Sri Radha Kunda? Okay, so that is the sort of the sequential anvaya of this verse. Okay, so most major part of the content we have covered. Let us look at some of the sort of a quick review of what all we have covered. So 5 spiritual places have been mentioned. So let us look at all 5. So far we just looked at, in the initial discussion, just Radha Kunda and Vaikuntha. So which is the first place?
Mathura.
Vaikuntha.
Vaikuntha. That is the
Vaikuntha.
first place. What is the second one?
Madhva.
Mathura.
Mathura,
Then the third place?
Vrindavan.
Govardhan,
No, third place is
Vrindavan.
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 Rasotsava. Remember? So Vaikuntha, then Mathura, then Vrindavan, then Govardhan.
Govardhan.
And finally,
Radha Kunda.
Radha
Radha Kunda.
finally Radha Kunda. Okay. So this is the sort of the, and again, there is a gradation, there is a hierarchy that has been shown here. So I just found these nice pictures on the internet. And
Prabhuji, Kund means lake.
yes, Kund means lake or a pond.
Okay.
Yes, Radha Kunda. There is also
Thank you.
Shyam Kunda. So we will talk about it. So few weeks back, I had given a class in ISKCON Portland Temple, our local temple here, on virtual Vrindavan Yatra. It has been uploaded to the YouTube. So initial part, I covered some aspects of logistical details and some important places around Radha Kund. You can look at that talk. So I'm not going into those details today. I could have. There's a lot to be said. We can do like, one class or many classes on each place. Okay, so there is so much to discuss, but we will finish this topic in one class today. So let us talk about some main points. Okay, so the main point here is, what is the connection from the previous verse? So what are the last 2 lines of previous verse? Tishthan vraje tad anuragi jananugami kalam naye dakhilam iti Upadeśāmṛtam. So what does it mean? Tishthan vraje, sitting in vraja, tad anuragi jananugami. Find somebody who is tad anuragi. Tad means Krishna anuragi, who is completely attached to Krishna. Tad anuragi jana anugami. Such a person's anugaman you do. Anugaman means you follow in their footsteps. You learn from them. You not only learn from their teachings or what they say, but learn from their behavior, learn from their daily activities. So Tishthan Vraje, sitting in Vraja, do these things. So that's what the previous verse mentioned. Perform your bhajan in Vraj, Tishthan Vraje. Then the question is, where exactly in Vraja? So what is the answer to this? Where exactly in Vraja?
Radha Kunda.
Radha Kunda.
Yes, Sri Radha Kunda. So that's why if you see all the Goswamis of Vrindavan, even though they used to visit Vrindavan frequently, but they resided at Radha Kunda. Their residence was near Sri Radha Kunda. Why? Why Radha Kund is the highest? Because Radha Kund is as dear to Lord Krishna as Srimati Radharani. There is no difference, and that is the topic of next verse. So I will not go into more detail here today. Okay. So that is why Sri Radha Kund is so important, because it is no different in terms of how dearly Lord Krishna loves Radha Kund as Srimati Radharani. And fortunately, we have access to a place in the material world called Radha Kunda. There is a spiritual counterpart in the spiritual world as well. But we do not have Radharani here in the material world. I mean, she's there in the aprakat form, but we do not have access. But at least we have access to the material level of Radha Kunda. And both are equally dear to Krishna. So that makes Radha Kund as close as it gets to Srimati Radharani as possible for us practicing or aspiring Vaishnavas who are not so advanced to see the unmanifest pastimes. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami did have darshan of Srimati Radharani, but we are not like them. I am not. So our best hope is Sri Radha Kund itself. However, it is not just the material Radha Kund. Even though the Radha Kund that we see in India, in the Govardhan area near Vrindavan, in Uttar Pradesh, it is a material place. You can pay some money to a rickshawala and he will drop you there. But it is completely spiritual. Its potency is completely spiritual, and not just Radha Kund. All the places that were mentioned in this verse are completely spiritual. Vaikuntha, Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan, and Radha Kund. They are all spiritual places. And they are all completely suitable for one's bhajan. It is not that if you are doing your bhajan in Govardhan or in Vrindavan or in Mathura, you will not go back to Krishna. The going back to Krishna, going back to the spiritual world depends on the attitude and the effort, the triple S of the devotee, not that of the place. Okay. But still Radha Kund is the best among the best. Okay. Why is it so? Why is there a hierarchy? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out that the hierarchy is there because of the greatness of the cause. The cause that is given, or the reason that is given about that place. That is what makes a place greater than the other one. And these causes result from the influence of Swarupa Shakti of Lord Sri Krishna. So wherever there is more Swarupa Shakti, that place becomes greater. And the maximum Swarupa Shakti of Lord Krishna is in Radha Kund, because we said, who is the topmost Swarupa Shakti of Lord Krishna? Srimati Radharani. And Radha Kund is as dear to Krishna as Srimati Radharani. So the Swarupa Shakti is maximum manifested in Radha Kund. And that is why it is the highest. And that's why there is a hierarchy. So the causes are more important than the places. Okay. So let us look at quickly revise. Let us revise the causes. So Mathura is greater than Vaikuntha because
Reappeared.
Krishna appeared.
Lord reappeared.
Very nice. Vrindavan is greater than Mathura because
The Ras dances.
Rasotsav.
Rasotsava. Very nice. Krishna performs his Rasa Utsav there. What is the next one after Mathura?
Mathura, Vrindavan was next.
Govardhan.
Govardhan, yes. So Govardhan is higher than Vrindavan because
Lord
The
was there.
Govardhan Leela, he lifted his hand, his
Govardhan Leela, yeah.
That is very nice. What is the Sanskrit? You must also remember the Sanskrit.
Pani Ramana,
Udar.
Udar Pani Ramana.
Yes, Udar Pani Ramana. So, which means that Krishna touched and held Pani in his hand, held the Govardhan in his hand and performed many sweet pastimes continuously for 7 days. Udar Pani Ramana. Next, after Govardhan is?
Radha Kunda.
And why Radha Kunda?
Was Prema Mrit.
Alpavanat.
Yes, Prema Amrita Aplavanat. It is overflowing, Aplavanat, overflowing, Aplavanat with Prema Amrita of
Radhaji.
No, not Radha, not according to this verse. Prema Amrita of
Lord Krishna.
Krishna Bhagwan.
what is
Krishna.
the name in the in the verse?
Gokulpati.
The Lord of
Gokulapate.
Gokulapati. Very nice. Gokulapati. Okay. Radha Kundam Yahapi Gokulapate Premamrita Plavana. Okay. So now you have fully understood this verse. And finally, the point is what? That we must do seva of Radha Kunda. Don't forget the last line. Okay. Kuryadasya. Kuryad. You must do Kuryadasya Virajato Giritate. Virajato Giritate means that which is sitting or situated at the banks or the foothills, not bank, foothill of Govardhan Hill is Radha Kunda. So, Kuryadasya Virajato Giritate Sevam Viveki Nakaha. So if you have even little bit of intelligence, if you claim to have intelligence, you must Kuryad Seva. Do Seva at Radha Kunda, of Radha Kunda or at Radha Kunda, both. So go to Radha Kunda and do some Seva. You will find some sadhus there. Don't worry if they are genuine sadhus or fake sadhus. Did anybody make you the judge of genuine sadhu or fake sadhu? Ramakant Prabhu,
No.
did you go to a university where you got degree on judging sadhus?
No, not at all.
Not at all, isn't it? So none of us have got any degree in judging the genuineness of sadhus. Okay? Just because they are there at Radha Kunda, do seva. Better that they are, even if it is a fake sadhu, better he is in Radha Kunda fake sadhu rather than, I don't know where, somewhere else in Jhumri Talaiya. Okay? So that alone makes that sadhu a nice sadhu. Nobody has given us the certificate to judge a sadhu. Go do some seva. Go do some seva of Radha Kunda. Every few years, there is a cleaning of Radha Kunda that occurs. Within ISKCON, there is something called a Radha Kunda fund. You can contribute to that fund, and ISKCON devotees go and do every, I think, 7 years or 8 years, there is full cleaning of Radha Kunda happens. And from that cleaning of Radha Kunda mud comes, and then they sell tilak of Radha Kunda. That is the tilak I am putting right now, this black color tilak. Somebody asked one time, what is this black tilak? It is called Radha Kunda tilak. It is nothing. Yeah, you asked. And it is nothing but the mud which is at the bottom of Radha Kunda, which is excavated at the time of cleaning of Radha Kunda. So do some seva of Radha Kunda, do some seva at Radha Kunda. Okay. And many, many very wonderful, sweet devotees are residing near Radha Kunda. And again, what to say of Radha Kunda? Anywhere in Vraj, anywhere in Vrindavan, go do seva. So the last line, the first 3 lines are more theoretical. Okay, fine. A is greater than B, B is greater than C, C is greater than D. All right. Okay, so what? So go do seva at A or B or C or D. That is the point. That is the point. It's not just for our theory. Now I know A is greater than B. What will you get if A is greater than B? Okay, A is greater than B. A will get the benefit. How will you get the benefit? You get the benefit by going to A and doing seva. So that is the key point of this verse. Sevam viveki na kaha. If you have even little bit of intelligence, do some seva at Radha Kunda. Okay. We will talk more about how to access Radha Kunda, what to do at Radha Kunda in the last verse, 11th verse. We will talk about that. But today I will just speak about doing seva at Radha Kunda. Okay. So we are running out of time. We could discuss more, but next verse is appearance of Sri Radha Kunda. How Radha Kunda appeared is a very beautiful story, and it is not mentioned directly in Srimad Bhagavatam. Radha Kunda appeared after Lord Shri Krishna killed the Arishtasur demon. Arishtasur was a bull. In Hindi we call Saan. That is the Hindi word. And this demon came, and he was one of the last demons. After this, Vyomasur and Keshi came. But you will see this, he was one of the last demons that appeared in Vrindavan. And after this, Lord Krishna leaves Vrindavan. When Lord Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, he leaves behind Shyam Kund. So the story in very short is like this. You must all be knowing the story, but I will just say it in 1 or 2 minutes. And the detailed story is given in the purport by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in this chapter, 10th canto, Dasham Skand, 36th chapter, about the killing of Arishtasur. In the 15th verse, Arishtasur gets killed. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given a big commentary on that. He has given 20 verses from Varah Purana describing the appearance of Sri Radha Kunda in his commentary. This is not directly in Bhagavad Purana. This is coming from Varaha Purana. And in the BBT edition, when I say BBT edition, I'm not taking Srila Prabhupada's name, because after 13th chapter, the other disciples of Srila Prabhupada finished or completed the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm calling that as the BBT Srimad Bhagavatam. It's in the 16th verse. And this story is like, there is constant loving tussle going on between Krishna and the gopis. So that is a, natural loving exchange between Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani and all her other friends. So after killing this bull, which is a species of the cow, the gopis tell Krishna, we don't want to touch you, or we don't want to come close to you because you have killed a cow. And Krishna says that, but he was a demon, only he had the body of a cow. The gopis say, so what? At least the body was the belonging of that of a cow. So you need to go take a bath in all the holy rivers to purify yourself. So then Lord Krishna, he's Bhagavan himself. So he invited all the rivers. Somebody should mute. Kindly mute. I'm going to mute everybody. If you would like to say something, you can unmute. Okay. So all the demons, all the rivers appeared, and Lord Krishna made a small kund, a small hole in the ground, and there he took a bath. So that became Shyam Kunda. And then Lord Krishna wanted to, annoy or harass Srimati Radharani in his loving way. So he said that, oh, you have sided with a demon. You took the side of a demon. So there is dosha. There is fault in that. By siding with a demon, you made me, you accused me of, by taking side of the demon. Now you also need to take a bath in all the holy rivers. So he invited Radharani to take a bath in Shyam Kund. But Radharani was very adamant. She said, no, 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 your Shyam Kund is now contaminated. You just took a bath. So it's now the water is contaminated. I want to take a bath in fresh water. I will make my own kund. So she makes her own kund, and the rivers in Shyam Kund, they know that this Radha Kund ultimately will be more dear to Krishna than Shyam Kund, because they know that Krishna loves Radharani so much. So they don't want to lose the opportunity to fill up Radha Kund. So all the rivers come and ask for permission from Srimati Radharani. Can I fill up your kund also? And Radharani very kindly says yes. So all the rivers fill up Radha Kund. Then Srimati Radharani takes dip in Radha Kund. And then Lord Krishna is also very happy. And he says that this Radha Kund is as dear to me as Srimati Radharani herself. So this is a very, very famous verse. It is quoted so many times. It is taken originally from Padma Puran. It was then put down by Sri Rupa Goswami in Laghu Bhagavatāmṛta. And 3 times it is quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we will read this. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasyah Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnor Atyanta Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Sri Krishna, her bathing place, Radha Kund, is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the supermost and very dear to Lord Sri Krishna. So that is the position of Sri Radha Kund in our lives, especially in the lives of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And why Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made one visit to Sri Vrindavan. And the absolute first place that he visited, and Vrindavan was lost at that time. All the places had become hidden, and it was just a big forest. Now, in a big forest, how will you know where is Radha Kunda? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna. And he knows. He was the one who did the pastimes, and he is the Supreme Lord. So there was a rice paddy field where some rice was being grown. And there was a little pool of water. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu easily identified that place and immediately went and jumped into those water. It was just a small, muddy, shallow pool. Everybody was wondering, what is this sadhu doing? He is a sannyasi. And they were wondering, why is this sannyasi has gone mad or what? He's like, imagine if there is like a rice field full of water. In rice field, you have to fill up the water, up to you have to fill up a lot of water. And, it's like you jumping into that and you will get all dirty. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu identified Sri Radha Kund, and he jumped into that rice paddy field and identified that as Sri Radha Kund. And Govardhan Hill was obviously visible, and this was right next to Govardhan Hill, and that is Sri Radha Kund. So that was the first place he visited. There are so many verses in the 18th chapter of Madhya Leela describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his ecstasy, his joy on rediscovering Sri Radha Kund. And then he spent time in Govardhan, near Govardhan Hill, and then subsequently went to Vrindavan. So in conclusion, the final takeaway for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, okay, and you don't have to go around and advertise this or make a point to others. This is for your private consumption, is to go to Sri Radha Kund and all the other important places and do Tishthan Vraje Tad Anuragi Jananugami. That is the point. And this whole topic we had discussed earlier, but that is a very advanced stage of Raganuga Bhakti. We also discussed how to go there if one is not at that level, you can go there for short time and get the inspiration. and find the devotees there, serve them, hear from them, and inquire humbly. Pradipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Follow in their footsteps. Tad anuragi jananugami. Do anugaman, following in their footsteps. And the other places also like Govardhan, Vrindavan, Navadvip, Mayapur, all these places. And other Vaishnavas, non-Gaudiya Vaishnavas and other devotees do the same for places of importance, reverence as per your respective sampradaya, your respective school. Okay. So this instruction to go to Sri Radha Kunda is only for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or whoever has faith in Sri Radha Kunda. So I think, yeah, I've rushed through. Sorry for, we could have discussed so many details about Srimad Bhagavatam is full of topics about Vaikuntha Dham. So many pastimes are there about Vaikuntha. So many topics are there about Mathura. Lord Krishna was born there in 10th canto, you can find. So he was born there in Mathura, then he comes to Vrindavan, then he goes back to Mathura after Akrurji takes him when he kills Kamsa in Mathura. So there's a lot of pastimes in Mathura. We could have spent so many hours talking about Mathura, Govardhan. The whole Govardhan pastime is there. Across 4 chapters are there on Govardhan pastime. And then Radha Kund we discussed. Now, mention of Srimati Radharani and Radha Kund is not there in Srimad Bhagavatam because it's a very advanced topic. And Shukadev Goswami didn't speak about it at all, to keep it sort of concealed, because it is only meant for private discussion. Bhagavad Puran will be recited in public. So many Bhagavad Saptahs happen. So the topic of Srimati Radharani is kept hidden. Okay, so we could have spent a lot of time talking about it, but this is the one class on Sri Radha Kunda. So we will stop here. Are there any questions, comments, etc.?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead. Did you raise your hand or go ahead? Do you have a question, Ramakant Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhuji, actually, when you say that though we are not judged to have a pass a judgment about which is beggar, who is sadhu, who is beggar. But in India, there is a lot of nexus of beggars, and they purposely make normal people, they turn them into a beggar by their nexus. So in that case, are we not encouraging those nexus also if we serve those people?
There not many people will think like we have discussed. Okay, very few people will actually go and serve them with full consciousness. It is not going to encourage any nexus. Okay, this is just do it with a pure heart and pure consciousness. Okay, you're not serving a sadhu over there. We don't know whether he's fake or genuine. Is not going to make or break the nexus. I agree there is a nexus. But this is all just our own conversation that if I don't give 10 rupees to that beggar, the nexus will be eliminated. Is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. Okay. And in that
it's
process,
not only for Prabhuji, it's not only for Radha Kund or Mathura Vrindavan. I am talking in general. There are so many places when we see that beggars are there. So should
here is
we
the point.
not judge that? Should we give everyone?
Yes, yes, give everyone. With your pure consciousness, okay, pray to Lord Krishna that I have earned this money legally. Whatever is your hard-earned money, may it go to the right person. Krishna will make sure it goes to a genuine beggar. And your contribution is not going to, Krishna will make sure that it does not encourage the nexus. You do your duty of dana. It's not your job also to do all this logical analysis. Okay? Whether you do it or not, this is Kali Yuga. There will be all kinds of nexuses in this Kali Yuga. Okay? Let that not stop you from, let that not rob you from your opportunity to do some charity. The main important point is do it with a very full heart consciousness. Okay? Do charity in the mode of goodness. Read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17. It will tell you what is charity in the mode of goodness. To the right person, at the right place, at the right time. Deshe kale cha patre cha. Okay.
Then there is patrecha that comes there. So, how can we decide that he is the right person?
That is why you have to go till the end of 17th chapter. Do you know what is the content of the last 5 verses of 17th chapter? What is the main topic?
I don't remember it.
Then
Shraddha Tre Vibhaga.
Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat.
very nice. Kirtida Mataji has pointed out. Om Tat Sat. So you must understand the full chapter. If I have pointed a verse in 17th chapter, you need to know the whole chapter. Om Tat Sat means Lord Krishna is saying all these activities that I have described. How many verses chapter 18 has? 17? 28.
28.
Yes. Till 22nd verse, Lord Krishna says anything, any way you do in the Kali Yuga will be full of fault. So even if you try to find the right patra, you will end up finding the wrong person. Why? Because it is Kali Yuga. Okay, because you are Mandabhagya. We have discussed in Bhagavatam, right? Mandabhagya. Even if you try to find the right person, because you are unfortunate, because you are not lucky, you will find the wrong person. But by saying Om Tat Sat, but by taking the name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, you will end up, everything will end up in the right place. Okay? So don't take it upon yourself. Have a pure devotional heart. With Om Tat Sat or with Hare Krishna, Krishna will ensure you find the right patra. That is the meaning of 17th chapter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another aspect of Prabhuji is service to the Dham itself. So there's a pastime where Shyamananda Prabhu was doing seva at Seva Kunj, sweeping. And what did he find due to seva? He's sweeping, he found an anklet.
Or the anklet.
And what did that anklet belong to? Srimati Radharani. Why did she leave it? So he could get the benefit of her darshan and her blessings. Because, why? Because he was doing seva to the Dham. So if these are issues, serve the Dham. And then the Dham will reveal who the Vaishnavas to serve.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice example. You must all read this very famous pastime of Shyamananda Pandit, where he was doing seva of the Dham, and purposely Radharani arranged it so that he would find her anklet. So what a great fortune that he found the anklet of Srimati Radharani just by doing seva of the Dham. So do seva of the Dham. Go sweep the Dham, go do so many kinds of seva. Okay. And it doesn't mean to say that don't try to find a genuine person. Try to find a genuine person. Yes. Now, point is, you may go wrong. You do your best to find a genuine person. Now, for example, there used to be within ISKCON very nice sadhu by the name of Gopi Pranadhan Prabhu. And he would reside next to Radha Kunda and do book translation. Srila Prabhupada entrusted him, among others, to do translations of books. He was one of the devotees that helped in the completion of the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, along with Hridayananda Maharaj and others. So, and he would reside at Radha Kunda. He opened what was known as Bhakti Vedanta Research Academy or something. And, so I'm saying my point is, if you know somebody who is genuine, who is doing in turn seva to Lord Krishna, to their Guru, definitely go and try to find them, get their association. And if you ask the right people, if you try to find out, you will know who are the people. And there, go and serve those devotees more. For the remaining beggars, you can give them 20 rupees. For those people, go do some more seva. Assist them in their seva. Okay. Anything else, anyone? Okay, if not, then let us close the call. So Nectar of Instruction is coming to an end. And we need to, for Bhakti Shastri students, plan the test. So in 2 weeks, Nectar of Instruction will be over, since we are doing 1 verse per week. So very soon we will have test. I will send a message, but please start preparing for the test. We will give some, we'll talk on WhatsApp. We will do, give some preparation time and all, like for previous ones, but please start preparing. Just wanted to let you know. Okay. If nothing else, we will close it here. Okay.
We will have next week class.
Next week, is there something going on?
Govind Prabhu is coming.
Oh, he will be here next. If he is there, then no class. I don't know when he is there or.
Yeah, he's coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh, so next Saturday he will be here.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, then no class next Saturday. Okay. No class next Saturday because we have visiting devotee, very sweet devotee from none other than Vrindavan Dham. So all of those who are in Portland, please come and take the association of Govinda Prabhu. He is a wonderful Kirtan person, Kirtankari, and he was assisting for many, many, many years Shripad Ayendra Prabhu, who left his body. He was the one who started the 24-hour Kirtan in the Krishna Balaram or the ISKCON temple in Sri Vrindavan Dham. Very, very, very surrendered, genuine Vaishnava, Shripad Ayendra Prabhu. And his Govinda Prabhu used to serve him very nicely. So that Govinda Prabhu is coming here to Portland. Please take his association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Vaikuntha.
Thank you,
Here.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.